Evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, and welcome to this evening's Out of the Box Wellness Talk with Daniel and Marsha. And I'm sure you're wondering where Marsha is. Marsha will be joining in just a few minutes, right? I had to jump in late as well, as you are seeing, right? Let me see how. I don't think it's that bad, and it's 4 minutes past 6, right? So it's not that bad, and Marsha will definitely be in. We just spoke on the phone, so it's not that bad. And just remember, we are streaming live both to YouTube and Facebook on Out of the Box Wellness Talk. Today, we are going to share on two different topics that are going to tie in. So, the second part of today's topic is going to more be where I will share my experience, right? But Marsha will share before that on. Hey, greetings, Jamali. Greetings, man. Yes, thanks for tuning in. We have Marsha joining in just a few minutes, right? So, in the beginning of this stream, Marsha will share from her side of it, and then I will share my experience. However, everything is going to tie in, right? And I just had to rush into this video today. You know, that's how it is when you're doing a lot of different stuff. I had to jump off our next platform and jump on this one, right? So, yes, we are here with you all this evening. I'll ask Marsha if she will be taking any calls this evening. I'm not sure if she will do that, right? Probably we might take one or two calls. So, in the meanwhile, while we are waiting on Marsha, let me give a little hint of what I will be sharing in the second part of this evening's program. So, this evening I'm going to be speaking about where my life into herbs started, how it came about, right? And it didn't just happen just so because I was so health conscious or anything like that, or I was well informed and educated, grew up around people who have been into herbal remedies and stuff like that. So I just had a situation that pushed me to that point of using herbs. And I am never a type of selfish person. So, I thought I should share my idea with others. I should make this thing just now. Let me take this call here. This is Marsha. Hello? Okay, all right. Right. So we'll have Marsha in just a very short time from now, right? Just about a minute. So yes, I was saying that I am not the selfish type of person. I thought that it was best to share the information that I started to research on the herbs, and I am really glad I did. I want nothing in return. No one owes me anything, and I will just continue to share. Whether people think that they could probably share the information with someone else or not, I will do my part in sharing. Right? So Marsha is coming on set here now, and she will I she is going to share some information. It is going to speak about how we could control ourselves in situations, right? I am seeing we have Marsha on right now. So she's setting her screen intact, and as I said before, Marsha will share with us in the beginning on how we could control certain behavior, the way that to certain things at certain time, and then there are sometimes when some things are not totally beyond our control, but a little difficult for us to control, and it's all natural, right? And she will explain why, right? So, Marsha, I'm not seeing your screen anymore. I'm not sure what just happened. Right, I'm seeing you here. And
Let me know,
good
Daniel.
evening to you, Marsha.
Hi, Evelyn.
Number
Everybody.
one
Sorry for
comment on
being
the list
late.
this evening is our bro Jamali. We have Jamali in the house this evening.
No, no Chamali.
Yes, I see he commented, so he's on,
Oh, he
he's locked
there?
on. You see his comment on the screen there?
Yeah.
All right. So Marsha, how was your day, girl? I just telling myself it might have been as busy as me.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Revision. With the kids now, test starts from Monday, so revision. All the teachers, I'm doing that, so you have to make sure and be there so you know the topics that they happen from the test next week, Monday to Friday. I'm sure your kids have tests as well, Daniel.
I actually took a little sleep today though. Today I did take a few hours sleep. Somehow I was able to get that sleep and I'm thankful to God for that.
Oh, I know St. Jamal there.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He inside. He told me he would take a look today because he had some orders to do. He does catering as well. He didn't mention plenty of the hats he's wearing, though. Huh?
Jamali will hold back on me, but don't worry,
You
it's time more.
understand?
So Marsha, I will hand over to you now so that you could jump right into your fantastic presentation you was telling me about earlier on, right?
Yeah. Okay, Daniel, what time you'll be sharing your stuff so I'll know when to cut off.
Well, I wouldn't be long, so I will work with your time. I was even saying in the beginning of the live stream, I don't know if you will want to take one or two calls today or probably next week. It's up to you how the feel goes, right? But I don't need much time. I probably could use about 10 minutes to really tell the viewers how I really got myself involved in herbs and stuff like that, natural lifestyle, even though it's not totally natural, I still have work to do. But
Of course, of
uh,
course. He
that's a
cracking up there, Jamali, and he glee like he
yes,
have a
yes,
friend there, just cracking up.
yes, yes,
Don't worry, we'll have him soon, probably next week or something, and we'll have a fun topic for him because he's a whole bunch of fun by himself. So
of
together is a nice combination,
yes. So
right?
so you go right
Right.
ahead.
All right. Good night again, everyone. Today's topic, I wouldn't say it's just one thing we are talking about because we always talk with a how do you say, we always talk about a couple things, we always touch on a couple topics, well, right? Timbags, bless evening to you as well. So tonight I decided to talk a little about Sigmund Freud. Um, he's a neurologist from Australia, and not much. He's not really known too much per se that he would be rolling off the tongues of people having conversations. Daniel, have you heard anything about Sigmund Freud, or is it the first time you're hearing about it?
It is the first time for me, and I didn't get a chance to check it out just before we came live. I didn't get a chance to check it out.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So I would have been introduced to hearing about Sigmund Freud by maybe a couple years ago, and I did the my psychology and sociology course. I would have had that, I would say, be introduced to him by maybe a couple years ago. And I was so interested, I was so intrigued, I was so excited about just reading more and more and more. But like I said, it's not a familiar name that would be rolling off the tongue of people on a daily basis, right? So when I have some information on Sigmund Freud, and I would like to share it with you all. And then I would also, there is a bunch of big words you're going to be hearing me saying people tonight, right? And but I will break it down and I will expand and let you all know, on how to say, on a easier, simpler level so everybody can understand what I am sharing tonight, right? So Sigmund Freud was born, I believe it was, I can't remember, oh, is it the 6th of May, 1856, right? That's from what I remember, right? So he has a saying that he says, I set myself the task of bringing to light what human beings keep hidden within them. The task of making conscious decisions on the recess of the mind is one which it is quite possible to accomplish. So what I gather from that is that, how to say, human beings, by saying he just human beings and putting that in a class by itself, what that says to me is obviously there are other beings around, right? There are other race, how to say, not besides races, species of whatever else other than humans, right? Other than human beings, right? But how we operate from the id, ego, and superego, which I would explain more about, right? So what he is saying is, although the mind is in recess sometime, he is aware, and it is quite possible to accomplish control within our minds, within our mental capacities, right? Because everything begins obviously with the mind, right? So, who is Sigmund Freud? Sigmund Freud was an Austrian neurologist and the founder of psychoanalysis, a clinical method for treating with psychopathology through dialogue between a patient and a psychoanalysis. Freud was born to Galician, I may be pronouncing that name wrong, Jewish parents in the Moravian town of Freiburg in Austrian Empire, right? So that's just a little background info on Sigmund Freud. So he is a theorist, right? In Freudian theory, the human mind is structured into two main parts, sorry, the conscious and unconscious part. Um, In addition to those two main components of the mind, the Freudian theory also divides human personality up into three major components, which is, as I said before, the id, the ego, and the superego, right? The reason why I believe this is important, to some, it may sound like gibberish. For those who can understand, will understand, obviously, right? But the reason why I say this is important is because sometimes we do things and we are unaware of why we do it. Sometimes people do things to us or for us or against us, and we wonder why. That question in our head, that question mark rings. Why? Why do they do it, right? So this is a little explanation as to why it happens. And I will explain a little more on the ego and superego. Those are the three parts that our brain is split into. All right, so we can understand sometimes why we make certain decisions. So, what is the id, superego, and ego? Now, everything that I'm telling you here, you can go to Google, you can go on other platforms like Google, and you can find relatively the same information. You can even get it broken down a little simpler for anyone to understand. All right. They are a set of concepts in psychoanalytical theory describing distinct interacting agents in the psychic apparatus. The three agents constructs and they are described by the activities and interactions of the mental life of a person, right? So what they are saying is that these three agents, they construct and describe the activities and interactions of the mental life. So this is how important it is. Because if we find out that about what makes us click, now this is not something we would learn in school, right? Unless you're going to psychology school or sociology school, where Sigmund Freud would be a household name, right? We are not taught these things in school. Now, if we can understand how we click or how other people click, or certain reasons why behind, even if we don't know the tangible reason, even if we do not know the physical reason why, at least we know it is within the id, ego, or superego. So we will not go around blaming people and thinking that, hey, you doing that because you want to do that. You hurt me because you want to hurt me. or I did something wrong because I want to do something wrong. It's simple. One would be overpowering the rest, right? So according to Freud, psychoanalytical theory, the id is the primitive and instinctual part of the mind that contains sexual and aggressive drives and hidden memories. So let's talk about that a little bit, right? So the id would be the primitive and instincts. Instincts mean to move, right? Like I would say, if a fire is taking place, the instincts will trigger you to just run out the house or something like that. Sometimes we do not have time to like impulse. We do not have time to really think. We just move, right? So and hidden memories. Now, the human brain is quite a fascinating thing, right? We can remember certain things by certain triggers. We may have a memory, a fond memory of something that happened in our past, say a beach incident, right? Say someone drowned or something like that. And we might have some years that pass well that we may not remember. And then we might go to the beach one time and then it might trigger a memory like that. So we'd have like hidden memories that our conscious mind is not aware of. But what I'm saying is that we are unaware of it, right? But it does not mean it does not exist. It does exist. And this drives certain parts of our personality and drives certain parts of our emotional well-being as well. So if we are aware of these things, we are able to get the tools, right? Because knowledge is power. We are able to get the tools. And when I mean tools, I mean there would be reading involved, research involved, and then we do what we have to do. If we get a tool to say how to cope with hidden memories, is to probably meditate for 15 minutes a day as a tool as well, right? Um, some people use tools of codependency, which is alcohol, sex, drugs, anything that controls you is a codependency. We would have spoken about this in I believe another topic, maybe fear or trust or something, but we would have spoken about that as well, right? So it contains sexual and aggressive. Now, those are two very high frequency things, right? Maybe one day we could probably talk about human beings and sexual natures and sex drives and that kind of thing because sex is quite taboo, Daniel. Wouldn't you agree? Sex is a topic that is quite taboo, as in, if you talk about it, something is wrong with you. Jamali
Yeah,
said,
I realize a lot of people have issues on this topic, and even saying words like penis and vagina, and these
yeah,
are
yeah.
words people like they have a difficulty saying.
They
So
have a
I,
difficulty stomaching it as well. When they hear it, they're like, oh my God, that's a private part. Mind you, it's a private part that everybody has, right?
yeah, and I don't understand why we can't just say things as it is instead of
Exactly.
trying to say something else to mean what we want to say. So
Butterfly and little, little bunny and that kind of thing. And I remember the nurses would have said at some point when my kids were younger, do not call it any butterfly or anything like that. Say the raw word, which is penis and vagina. Because when they
and
grow up,
yes,
while growing up, and somebody might say, let me touch the butterfly, or let me touch the bunny, and you might think, but if you know it is not to touch and it's not to play with until you reach a certain age or whatever, you would have that in your mind. But I think sex education is something very important that they need to incorporate within the social, well, besides the social sector, the schools, right?
most definitely.
Yeah. So, like I said, so the id holds the sexual drive and the aggression. Now, aggression, I see people go for what is the behavior? Is it aggressive behavior? No. There is where people go to get therapy or help um when they don't have control over the anger, right? So it's like that. Let me see what Jamali is saying. Jamali says the brain is designed to keep you away from pain, so it makes you forget and keep foggy memories so that you're afraid of it, keeps you away from that. Yeah, that is true. Now, our brain is designed the way it is designed. We think we have control, right? But we really don't. Our brain does what it wants to do. Now, um, we, how to say, we is growth and expansion. That's the purpose we are here, right? And service to mankind. That is the purpose that we are here. So nothing will keep us from doing that. But when it is we are brought up in a place where values, morals, and this kind of thing is not concrete or it's not the foundation, what it does, it starts a fight within yourself here because you see, super ego always gonna try to do the right thing, the moral thing, because that is how it's built, right? And the I believe it's the id that does that wants you to do the wrong thing, right? And the ego kind of dwells between the super ego and the id, trying to mediate, which way to go. So sometimes you hear somebody say they're hearing voices in their head, right? Or and we watch them, Daniel, and be like, yeah, you crazy. We hand put them in ward one, send them by St. Anne's, right? Like that. Put them in ward one, them crazy, right? But if you have three different things in your mind, one telling you, say, um, have the entire chocolate, right? And one saying, no, 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 don't have the entire chocolate, your teeth, whatever, whatever, whatever. It's always a decision making. So we are in a constant state of making decisions. But for me, taking the pressure off of making decisions, for me, is that the God would have known, what decision I'm going to make anyhow. So I try not to put too much effort, or stress, like, wait, boy, I'll make that hard decision. Wait, but I already know whatever decision I make is the right decision. Whether it be even the wrong one, it is the right one for the time, right? If it is the wrong, we live and we learn and we make different choices, right? They even say that madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result as well, right? So maybe one day, well, we'll definitely put Jamaki on that program
Ali,
where we talk about sex education. We'll definitely put some fun people there so we could all have fun of it, with it. Because everyone has a sexual nature and a sexual drive, right? We are born with these things. Even from small, we know we grow up, we have to use these things. Even we hear about reproduction and all these things, but yet we are left like, I don't want to say headless chickens, but like unsecured wolves, right? We are just left to see and learn for ourselves and experience. Sometimes it's good, but always having a foundation is better, right? So, Daniel, we could probably rock that for next week program, sex education.
yeah, no problem. I can
Yeah,
do that.
right. And we'll have Jamaki online and
Jamali,
anybody else. And then we'll take calls. We could take some calls and we'll have some fun with this, right? Because life is to have some fun, right? Growth, expansion, and fun. Enjoy every day and live life till its fullest. And knowing about your sexual nature is important just as everything else. How else will you know? You're going to ask somebody, what about those who can't ask somebody? They're going to have to experience it. And they might have a bad experience. You might go sleep with somebody unprotected and end up with some problems because the information is just not out there, right? So, right. So this is responsible for these things, right? The id. And the super ego operates as a moral conscience. And the ego is the realistic part that mediates between the desire of the id and the super ego. So the id is pulling you this way, the super ego is pulling you this way, and the ego is in the middle trying to mediate between the two, trying to see, what decision you're gonna make. And but it's always up to you. Picture your thoughts as though, well, everybody would know what is a waiting room, right? Hospital wise, what is a waiting room? So picture all your thoughts in a waiting room, thoughts of negativity, sorry, thoughts of positivity, how to say, high frequency thoughts, low frequency thoughts, a bunch of thoughts just sitting there in a waiting room where there is one door marked exit on it, right? One door, exit, entrance, anyhow you want to think it. And you now are responsible for what thoughts are allowed to come out of there. Now, your thoughts, you will speak it, and then from speaking it, you will do it. So everything starts with a thought. So if you can control, or let's say if you have some sort of control of the thoughts you are allowing out of you, then you have now begun to learn life. Now you have now begun to have control over your life because, like I say, thoughts, words, and deeds. That's how it goes, right? So if you have
One of
pure positive thoughts, you're gonna say pure positive things, and then eventually you're gonna do pure positive things, which is good. That will only raise your frequency and make you have a better quality of life. But if your thought is, because I mean, I have met lots and lots of negative people, as well as I have met positive people, right? But more negative, right? And if you hear their thought process, right, like people could say anything, right, Daniel? And as soon as you leave them to talk, people usually tell you their intentions. They usually do, but you need to pay attention. It's not just a matter of hearing. Maybe 80% of us could hear it, but it's a matter of listening. Now, if you are listening, like I have a friend, I would be talking and he would just start to talk while I talking. How are you able to talk? I am not reaching to the end of my sentence, sorry, and you already have something to say, so you cannot be listening to me. So if you're not listening to me, how can you render an opinion? This is how I look at it. I'm not saying you can't interject or interrupt while somebody is talking, but as I'm trying to tell you, simple as that. If you listen to someone, you are able to hear, really, really hear what intentions they have towards you. And then once you realize that, well, you have to decide whether it's yay or nay, get out of my life or stay in my life, right? And this is how decision making is important. So positive thoughts, always people, positive thoughts, high frequency thoughts. Hate is not in my vocabulary. I don't really allow my kids to say that either because hate is a very strong word. It is also a low frequency word. I don't like, besides hate, low frequency words could be envy, greed, selfishness, gluttony, like bad words that would make someone feel like like somebody would say, "I am worthless. I feel underappreciated." By whom? Who do you feel underappreciated by? You have to appreciate yourself. How can anyone else appreciate you if you don't appreciate yourself? So this is how important our thoughts are. Our thoughts need to be positive so we can speak positive things into the atmosphere, and then we would be able to do positive things well, and then our frequency will be high like a kite, right? High, high, high. So then the lower frequency will just diminish. It's like old leaves. They say God says, don't worry about the rotten fruit. They will fall away by themselves. So we all need a start. So if whoever listening to this, you may be in a state of these low frequencies, which is anxiety, depression, loneliness, sadness, these type of things. Try to change your thought pattern. If somebody is telling you cannot do something, get up in the morning and be like, yes, I can. It doesn't matter what it is. Yes, I can. Like me, I really don't like anybody to tell me I can't do anything. Unless, it's something bad or whatever. But I mean, don't tell me now you're looking like you can do that. That's a challenge. That's an immediate challenge. That's just how my brain does work, right? So people, when someone is getting on with you or puts you in a hot seat or makes you feel uncomfortable, really sit and think about this individual and if it is worth you working up yourself behind them. Because like I said, there is the id, the ego, and the super ego. So you constantly have this little, I don't even want to say war, but this little pull and tug in your mind, right? Trying to get you on the straight and narrow. And then there is something else, another force pulling you to the bad. Now, if like they say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. If you are within the low frequencies of people, I mean, nothing good ain't gonna come from that, right? So you need to constantly raise your frequency all the way up. And the work of the super ego is going to be much, much, much easier because now you are in the frequency of your higher self, right? So, right. So that's what is the super ego. It operates, I said, as a moral conscience, right? So that's the voice of reason per se. Now, the ego mediates, sorry, between the id and the superego. That is the role of the ego, right? The id is trying to get you to do things like, say, for an example, eat a big juicy slice of cake. Now, I'm not judging anybody who's eat cake. I just saying, right? And the super ego is going to get you to try to make good decisions and be like, let's go jogging. You should probably go jogging. That's what the super ego going to be doing. And it's going to be like, no, sit and eat the cake. And the ego now going to be mediating, studying, well, what you're going to do, what you're going to do. And your surrounding is going to help you make that decision. The music you listen to going to help you make that decision. The people you have within your circle is going to help you make that decision. And the way you feel and think about yourself is going to help you make each decision in your life, right? So the ego mediates between the two, right? And get right. So, and it's going to help. The super ego is trying to get you to make good decisions and be an upstanding person, because that is the work of the super ego, right? According to Sigmund Freud's theory of personality, the superego is the component of the internalized ideals that we have acquired from our parents and society. So the superego, I want to say, let it put like conscience, God, right? Because everybody would think once you're doing the right thing, God has his way, God is, beaming in your life, God is bringing life and things to your life. And what they are saying here is that the internalized ideals that we have acquired from our parents and society, right? So picture this. A little child growing up and the parents around them has no morals, no values, right? And growing up the child in a way that the child is neither having any morals and values. What is going to happen when that child is older? Is he going to spontaneously get morals and values? Of course not. The super ego has not given it anything to run back to. Like, if it's a memory of what someone said good or something someone did that was good, it's like, no, it's not doing that at all, right? So it's going to be hard on that human now as they reach adulthood. It's going to be hard on them to have that moral value within them, right? But besides parents, it's also society, right? Because they would have gone through certain things with families, they would have gone through certain things with friends, they would have gone through certain things with their environment, within, wherever they live, right? All that builds that. Because they say a child, the how to say, their brain works faster and it takes more than a UE student from ages, not ages, sorry, from the third trimester to age 8, right? It works, it takes in a whole bunch of information. They don't sleep, trust me, they don't sleep, they don't rest, they pace, learn. You teach them all that you could teach them. I'm not saying you stop at age 8, I'm just saying the brain starts to slow back down a little bit. And this continues straight until we reach senior citizen, where sometimes the brain recesses and we get Alzheimer's and all those kind of things, right? So it is a process as well. Hi, Penny. Good night. Good night. Blessed night to you. Hope you're doing well. Um, right. So where did I reach? Right. We have acquired from parents. The super ego works to suppress the urges of the id and tries to make the ego behave morally rather than realistically. Right. So again, it's about morals. Right. It is about morals. And it is what was taught to you. It doesn't even matter who so much. It is what was taught to you that would help build a good moral, to, sorry, build some, allow someone to have good moral value, good integrity. Because we live in an age, Daniel, where people would means nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm not saying every single person. I am telling you the majority of the population words mean nothing. And I could do less. I could be very happy with all those type of people in my life, to be honest, because my word means something. If I say I'm doing something, I am most definitely, hi Shamin, good night. I am most definitely, doing something. If I said I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. If I can't, however, for whatever reason, I am going to make a phone call and let you know I can't. And in a case like that, you know, being somebody like me, you're supposed to understand, hey, you know, if Marsha really can't make it, she really can't make it, and you take it as it is. Like that. That's the kind of people I want around me. Or vice versa. If someone says they are doing something, yeah, I'm believing you are doing something. And if you can't do it, a gesture, a little concern, like, okay, let me shoot a call and say I can't do it or whatever. I could understand that, Daniel. Things happen, you know. Um, Simple as if we are tired and we can't do the program, we are tired because we live very active lives, especially you, Daniel. Like I was telling you today, you wear many, many hats. And thank God, you know, God always give you the strength to fulfill all your duties, responsibilities as a, you know, father, husband, everything, entrepreneur, everything. Right? So we really need to have people within our circle, right, that gets us, makes us feel comfortable. So the super ego does not have much work to do. Like if I am around Daniel, if I'm around, say, Jamali, or people that I consider, it's only that is the kind of people you have within a circle. I said, it is not going to take over. Because if the it takes over, you're going to have problems, right? Because it's too much negative frequencies that are going to occur. And I remember the last time we spoke about the chakras, right? So once it have that negative frequency, you're gonna block your chakras and then everything going to go haywire after that. Going to have to see doctor, might have to see all kind of different people because once your chakras blocks, it is mental sickness, physical sickness, and the list goes on, right? So train up a child, they say, in the ways of the Lord, and when they get older, they will not depart from it. And I believe that wholly and solely. It doesn't matter to me who said it, right? It is a statement that I carry very, very dear. And with my kids, I have three kids. And I could say, if anybody asks me what I am proud of, I am proud of my children to the fact that if an elderly person is crossing the road, my children will rush to do it. You know, they might have to take their eyes off the phone to do it, huh? But they will do it. I am happier with that. That if I hook my foot or something, my children will rush to my rescue like that, just in instincts. Like the same thing I was telling you, like, you know, your instincts. I wanted my children to have good instincts when coming to service the people. You see something on the floor, you are able to pick it up. I am, yes, education comes first and my kids get good grades. Yes, I am happy for that. They are intelligent kids. I'm very happy for that. But what I'm saying is that aside, being a good human being is most important. Having respect and love in your heart for everyone without studying race, gender, money. That is most important to me, and that is how I am growing up my children, Daniel, with good moral values. I am not a perfect parent, nor am I the best mom in the world, but I try to, how to say, differentiate what is important to me and what is not so important. Tangible things are not so important to me. Yes, they allow comfort to a point, but they are not so important. Integrity, morals, love, respect, peace, those type of things are important because my super ego has guided me to the point where it is easier to make decisions. So, but at that point, I couldn't make a decision for myself properly because it was based on emotions. My head, I'm not saying I was doing wrong things, but I was going about my decision making wrong from an emotional standpoint. And I learned, right, how to detach myself from the emotions in order to make a proper, not just to make a proper decision about my life and things concerning me and my kids, etc., etc. Right? So we grow up our kids with good morals, good values, enough love, enough affection. Hug your children, kiss your children. Nothing wrong with that. Look, my son is, I wouldn't say even big, but holy he will hug. Holy he will hug up. Just see me. I just want a hug, mommy. I just want a hug. I have affectionate children and I am very blessed with that. So if you grow up your children with morals and values and love and respect and these kind of things, they will not depart from it. And when we get older and get weaker, those same kids is that's what we will need to rub our heads and rub our foot because this body is a temperate state, right? Because we would know that from the time we are born, we have to die. We do know. We don't know the time. We don't know the hour. We don't know the day. We don't know the month. Nothing. But we do know we have to die, right? And with this COVID and everything on the rise, for me, fear cripples the immune system. Worry, stress cripples the immune system. We would have spoken about that on one of the previous programs, right? It does this to the immune system. Love, hope, trust, integrity, these builds the immune system. So, I mean, in this case, we need to have that for ourselves and we need to have that for kids as well, right? So, that's just a little advice from a mother, letting you know that yes, the grades are great. Obviously, everybody wants a smart child, but having a smart child is not just everything, right? Your child needs to show some sort of love, affection, the willingness to help people. Because then when they grow older, they're going to have to go through a whole process learning this right over again, right? So according, reach, okay. So it would be morally, we want to train our ego to be morally rather than realistically. Because if our ego is, say, just dealing with this reality and this dimension, it's going to be problems because it's tangible, right? We are in this 3D world, right? And it's external, right? And morals and values internal. So we need to work on the internal stuff and then the external stuff can change. We cannot change the external stuff because we are not responsible for the things that exist, the tangible things like that, right? The superego is the part of a person's mind that helps keep the id in check, guiding the person to follow learned rules rather than impulses. They represent three parts of the human psyche or mind. The superego is where morals, conscience come from, right? So, although people eventually learn to control the id, like eventually, obviously, our higher self is going to make us, how to say, no event. Okay, say you're going to ride a bike, right? The first time you might fall down, second time you might almost fall down. But by the third time, fourth time, you're going to know how to ride the bike. So it's the same thing. The head gonna have you carried away a little bit, but by the time you know you're burn to learn, you're supposed to catch up yourself. But the only how you're going to catch up yourself, my friends, is if you are within the present moment. The past does not exist, the future does not exist. Nothing can exist without the present moment. And within the present moment is all where the decision making is going to take place now. This COVID now, people might think, why am I talking about this now? And there is COVID on the rise, there is this on the rise. It's always going to have a disease on the rise. It's always going to have something threatening the life of humans on the rise. If we look back in history, sorry, we would see it always have diseases because guess what? Everybody cannot die at old age. The way kids are making kids now, drastic thing has to be put in place because they say one born, one gone, right? So it has to have a balance. And if it is kids are making kids 11-year-old, 12-year-old kids, then they're gonna have all other different kind of strains of diseases coming. People that are in car crash, all this kind of thing, because we need some sort of a balance as well, right? So this part of the personality remains infantile, primal force throughout life. It is the development of the ego and the superego that allows people to control basic instincts and act in ways that are both realistic and socially accepted. So, how to say? Well, all of us would have gone from preschool to primary school, secondary school, and onto other schools, UE. People would continue studying, like that, straight until probably. I know a girl who went to school, she was telling me since preschool, she was 3 years old and she was like 20 something years. And she's like, she's so fed up at school. She can't wait to like finish out her bachelor's because that's all she's been doing, studying, 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 studying. Now, when we are small, younger, and we are not responsible for ourselves as yet, whoever is the adult will be responsible for us, right? Now, it's like a plant. If you take a plant and You give the plant sufficient water, you allow it sufficient sun, you speak nice positive things to the plant, and you give it the necessary soil and minerals and everything that it needs, you're going to have a healthy plant. It's as simple as that. If, however, you put a plant, say on the inside, you're not aware of the amount of sunlight it is getting, you're so busy with, your everyday life that you're not watering the plant going to come up looking sprung. Are you looking halfway, lean up, bend up, or how? As opposed to the plant that you would have spoken positive things to and done positive things as well too, right? So it's the same thing like any type of relationship. If you taking care of someone, say a significant other, you check on them, make sure they are okay, you rub their head when they have a headache, you cook for them, etc., etc., nice things, right? And you do that, and you are honest, of course. Um, I believe, honestly, 100% you're gonna have a really nice functioning relationship only if if it is reciprocated as well. Because you cannot be given your 100% and then somebody is just taking. And most likely when someone is taken from you, they are given to someone else. It may not even be someone else, it might be to a job. So it might be like you putting in everything into this person, and this person is given everything to a job, right? Because the benefits of the job is in cash. Now, our currency is really our energy. Daniel, have you heard about that? Rather than money, people believe currency it should just be, money, like $100 bill. Give me $1,000, I'll give you this. People use money for sex. People use money for drugs. People use money for alcohol. What about the things that money cannot buy? Those things are free, but we don't want those things. We don't want the grace of God. We don't want how to say, we don't want our chakras clear. The reason why we don't want these things is because we are ignorant to the fact that we can have a better quality of life by simply having God present in our life, having a good attitude. I wouldn't call myself a goody two shoes girl. I wouldn't call myself, I wouldn't, I mean, I think highly of myself. I think quite highly of myself because we are all blessed beings, right? But I am not the person to feel I am better than anybody, right? Because, like I said, my super ego, I am quite grounded in the fact that if someone needs my help, I will be willing to help them without any hidden agenda. But the issue lies when people want to help people, but they always have something at the back of their head that they want done, that that person could help them. Because it's like you use me, I use you, and that is the mentality that we have been in. And it's not you use me, I use you. It's I exchange my energy for something that I believe is beneficial to me. But people, like I say, only hold value in money. If like I sell tablets, right? My tablets are $1 for one. I put extra tablets, all this kind of thing. Now, I sell my tablets. I will not say not to make money, but that is not my main thing. I want to introduce it to people's body because I know that once the green hits your body, it will hit your heart. And once it hits your heart, it come like it will funnel you to your own pathway. And then you will decide, okay, I want to exercise. I want to add exercise into taking these tablets. I want to add a little more prayer, add a little more charity. You will do that for yourself. I don't go around telling people what to do, right? But how are you going to start if your mind is only on the tangible things because you believe if I don't have $1,000, if I'm not making $10,000 a month, I ain't not living. But you so want to make the $10,000 that you are killing out yourself for a job that does not appreciate you. Good night, Vanessa. You're
You
killing
will
out
kill
yourself for,
others for the job too.
sorry?
You will even kill others for the job. You'll kill yourself and others for that job.
Exactly. And what about the family? I mean, when a husband in a job or a wife in a job, is the entire family in the job as well because it's sacrifices, It's a lot of sacrifices. You're not just sacrificing your time, you're sacrificing your energy. So you picked, you're trying to, you work in, say, Monday to Saturday. right? Putting your all into a job, all. A week would pass, 2 weeks would pass, a month would pass, an entire year would pass. And all you are thinking about is what hit the bank account, you know? And then you're working so hard for it that that's why sometimes people hold on to the jobs and say you get to next to nothing, right? You get to next to nothing money. Now you're gonna look for some kind of codependency because what you give, you have to get back in return. But if you are not getting back the compensation of the chiching and it's not balancing with the time and energy and sweat and blood and whatever you would have been given it, you're going to get problems within yourself. It's the same thing in a relationship. If you are given 100%, and that person is given a mere 10, nothing is going to work because you are not getting back what you give. It is as simple as that. I was telling you, I sell my tablets for $1, and I am sure I see people go buy, tablets. If it's 200, it's like I pay expensive for that, so you would have to work, right? And I would have bought tablets like that. I remember a couple of years ago from a good friend of mine. He has a herbal place in Chiguanas. I would have bought tablets from him. And I remember it was a little more expensive, well, much more expensive than what I selling, right? But it's the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? But he knows the fact that if you say it's a bit expensive, people think it works. When, oh, that's Jamal. He said, wipe my camera. It's weird. And if it's less blurry. Thanks, Jamali. That's oil.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
so,
probably the light. I thought it was the light in your room there.
yeah, I don't know. I think I was combing my hair before, so it probably touched it up there. Okay, and saying it. Thanks, Shamali. Yeah, so we need to really be aware of our thoughts process. And like I say, the past does not matter, the future does not matter. Because Daniel, when you die, right, whether you be 10 years old, 100 years old, whatever the case may be, when you die, as soon as you not even go down on the ground yet, the first thing they are gonna say is, what time the body coming by the house? Who going to undress the body? What time the body going to the morgue? Or what time it going to the creek? Like that now. The body reach by the house yet? That's what you hear. Because you lose your name. You lose your name, you lose your identity, you lose all the sweat, all the hard work, you lose all of that. All you are considered is the body. Where that body burn fast, boy. You ain't hear that skull bust like that now. That's like the talk you head on the creek and that kind of thing, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like you work so hard to build a name for yourself, and within minutes, within seconds, you die. You lose that name. All the accounts that you have, if you fix your business, the bank gain everything. Like I had a lady that died, right? That I know within the family, right? And when I went to her room, I remember that my friend was saying if I wanted some flowers or something that she had in the thing and whatever. I was like, well, the woman just died a couple of weeks ago. She's like, so what you waiting for her to come back fit? She not coming back fit like that now. And what I'm saying is she would have gathered all these nice things and held it dear to her, and she didn't want she didn't want her nieces and nephews touch it and this kind of thing. Now you died, right? God rest her soul, of course. You died, and anybody, what I mean is, if somebody comes like, you want this, you want that, so all your things that you would have saved, everything you would have salvaged, is going to go for other people anyhow. Anyhow, it is going to go for other people. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you approve or you don't approve, and you can't do nothing once it is your spirit leave the body. So I say fairly,
Marsha,
yeah, yeah.
what I do, right? I have a lot of stuff that people will never, most people will never have their children touching. For example,
Mm-hmm.
my medical equipment, like the
Yeah.
stethoscope and the oximeter, the otoscope, all those stuff. I actually have my children, well, we will say, interfere with it, or in their mind, they will feel the pain with it. I am talking about pressure kit, real thing I telling you about, not no joke thing. And
Mm.
the thing about it is, yes, I do not want them to be destroyed, but the children could learn how to use these things. And in a real emergency, sometimes a child could be the one to save you. If I saw studying that I don't want these things to be destroyed, I could just die and leave them all right here. So I just look at material things so different. Eh? My children
Exactly.
will be on my phone, not watching videos and stuff like that. You know, we'll find them watching videos on their own devices from time to time. But in terms of digging up in certain apps and checking out certain features and things, right, where they actually learning something that could carry them further in life. My children will set up this whole live stream for me. Serious, I
Yeah.
telling you, they will set up this whole live stream if I am running late, and I will come and go live. If I have to do a DJ work, they will set up the entire system, including projector and all that, right?
Mhm.
So at times when they feel they are playing, they are actually learning.
No, that's
So
true. That's just stuff that we buy is to use. Like even when we buy nice fancy comforters and blankets and fancy shoes, we use it and put it back in the box because that is for this time alone. People will die and leave these things, and guess what? The other person most likely not gonna appreciate it. They might give it away to somebody. All your favorite clothes, all your jewelry, all your earring and things. People gonna get it. People you
all these
might not
are
even like gonna get it.
real stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The one
So,
thing I don't let them interfere with is
mm,
the kit to test your sugar, because that needle there,
right,
they
yes,
will
yes. But that's
destroy
a
people,
different story, Daniel. That's
right? But
dangerous. That's a different
thermometer,
story.
everything, otoscope, and what I will do, if something get destroyed along the way, I wouldn't even come down on them. I wouldn't even make them feel that they do something wrong. I just let
Mm.
them know that that's part of it. Not everything going to last forever. And if you could spend $5,000 in fireworks, then what is this? This is about $200. Fireworks, you're
Mm.
just going to use it once.
And
So
going up in the air, smoke.
for me
Came
to
for smoke.
allow my children to use this so many times, that only costs $200.
It's true. I I don't have a high value for tangible things as well. But I'm not gonna say it and make it sound like if I don't have no value at all. I said a high value because at the end of the day, jewelry could be replaced, glasses could be replaced, you know, clothing could be replaced, shoes could be replaced, but a human being can't be replaced because we
Exactly.
have a specific DNA here, right? Um, Vanessa is asking what you think about the COVID situation, but you want to answer that now, Daniel?
Well, I will answer since she asked. I
Mm-hmm.
personally don't believe that COVID is something real at all, at all, at all. That's my personal belief. And people, well, we know that people will get a cold if you get wet in the rain, or probably a change of atmosphere if you have sinus like me. Once the sun come out, suddenly my sinus could start to act up. If the rain just start to fall suddenly, my sinus could act up. And when you go to the hospital, you make yourself vulnerable for whatever they will
Mm-hmm.
give you and call it treatment. And that what they say is treatment is what actually going to put you down. And then worse yet, if you take the jab that they call in a vaccine. And Vanessa is saying that with 31 deaths and 624 cases, and what is not being said, and I posted on a different platform earlier today, Marsha. So I'll just be short on this since this is not the platform for that. Um, I get reports from persons who working in the medical facilities, the nurses, the the nurses can be lying, and then the nutritionists who dealing with the food and all that can be lying, the janitors, the drivers of the ambulance, all of them can be lying, the security officers can be lying and saying that these are people who took the job, but they are saying these people die from COVID, and they are not saying that those persons took the job, and that is why they end up hospitalized and then the so-called tested positive, right? But I will pause on that note because this platform is different for we talking wellness, yes, but I don't want to really go too deep into this. And you all can join me on Sawick Media Mode tomorrow and all the other times where you will hear more of my personal views on the whole situation. And Vanessa, I am glad that you are feeling much better.
Me too. Glad to hear that, Vanessa.
Yeah, Marsha and I actually had some concerns, even though I didn't make much contact, right? We
Mm.
did have some talk on um, whether you were okay and stuff like that, right? So back to Marsha.
Yeah. Yes, Vanessa, just today I was telling Daniel after the program, I'll give you a message and see how you're doing. Um, my little contribution to the COVID, I don't know, I would agree with Daniel. I know me and Daniel would agree that I would think to the COVID, I don't want to say it doesn't exist, it might be mashing somebody's toes, but I really don't follow up with the death sentence. Yes, we live in a country, we have to be aware of what goes on, yes. But at 31 deaths and the energy that that is coming with, it is not an energy that I will dwell in. I will be aware of it, but I will not be dwelling in that sad, depressing kind of way because it's a lot for a small country, 31 deaths, right? But I would tell you it's 5 people I have heard that from, Daniel, for the evening, and the night has just started, really, right? So it is on everybody's tongue, the deaths and the cases, and I would just say what I have to say, which is everybody has a number. I am saddened by everybody that died through this COVID who was affected. I knew people, I don't want to say close, but I know of people within my surroundings that died, and it is always a sad thing to lose a human being. It is life in itself, cats, dogs, whatever. It is a sad thing to lose a life, right? But we need to refocus on ourselves and building our immune system to the fact that if we got COVID before, or we're going to get COVID, or next year we're going to get COVID, or whatever, our body is able to fight it, right? Again, it's in your mind. And my thoughts about that is positive vibes all the time. And yes, COVID exists, but in my will, and my children's will, it does not to a point because I do not encourage talking about it too much because it's there. What am I going to do? I'm going to talk about it like everybody else? No, I'm not going to do that. And like Daniel say, well, we don't really discuss those things on this platform, but Vanessa, I could probably give you a call tomorrow and you'll let me know, how you're feeling and everything, and we'll make you'll make a date to come join us on the program and you can share your stuff and experience on your diabetic journey and um, how you will be able to reverse or able to help yourself better and be able to control your sugar and everything, right? So it will be our pleasure to have you here. So we'll talk to you sometime tomorrow. Glad
I
that
just
you're feeling better.
want to add one more thing, Marsha.
Yeah, go
We are not going to be restricted. Right? It's out of the box wellness talk, and we're talking out of the box. But this particular topic has brought a lot of conflict and separation in the country. And because Marsha and I are all about positive vibes and stuff like that, you see, we we really do have a problem talking and sharing on anything at all. But this platform, we so like the fun of it and keeping it real, top up and stuff like that. Even though we're talking about real health issues and things, and um, I've seen on a lot of different live streams where people start to cuss out because the
ahead.
for or against what somebody is saying, and we we just might on this platform we might block people who want to disrespect each other because Vanessa, you might say something and somebody might not agree with you and feel they could cuss you on this platform, and we block them, right? So on, we really believe in our positive vibes. Marsha will always say high frequency.
High
And
frequency, yeah.
and while on other platforms they will see me challenging certain issues, that is because I understand there's a time and place for everything. This we actually know that there's a need, and Marsha also mentioned balance. We know there's a need for a balance, in terms of our mentality, the things we think about, the information that going out and coming in. And we have to ensure that we have a positive space that people could always come back on, to feel that sense of relief after. How much time do you say for the day yet, Marsha?
I heard it
Five
5 times for the
times.
evening, and the night
And I
just started. Yeah.
I got it more than 5 times. Right now, messages still coming in all over on that. So, we have to really present people with this platform where it's totally positive. We don't have to agree on every single thing, but it's not
Mhm.
going to be a conflicting platform. But
Exactly,
Marsh,
because I
we
go ahead.
appreciate your question, though. We do appreciate
Yes,
your
yes,
question.
yes, yes. All questions are appreciated, and if I'm just saying, Facebook right now light up with COVID stuff. Other platforms light up with it as well. And to me, even if it's an hour, 2 hours, we are talking sometimes 45 minutes. It makes me happy because I am talking about something positive. And if out of 10 people who are listening, 100 people, one person takes it seriously, one person is able to change certain habits about themselves, which is harmful to their body. If one person is able to even share the knowledge and help somebody else, right? That we are happy about that. And like I said, COVID. When you think about COVID, you think about death. And we about living a good life, right? So even when you all hear stuff about COVID, my advice to you is do not be fearful because we would have spoken about how fear cripples the immune system. People go on Google and see what fear does to the human body, and you will see everything that I am saying. It cripples the immune system, it weakens the immune system, it makes you prone to depression, anxiety, and low frequency things because it attracts those things because that is of low frequency as well. So people, like I am not vaccinated, right? Daniel, are you vaccinated? No, right?
Taxi, what?
It's a joke. It's a joke. I know.
I know that, I know that. That's why I had to laugh, because I know it's a joke.
Yeah. So we are not vaccinated, and Daniel, I do not, go around telling anybody, why are you vaccinated? You don't know this. No, no, no. Why am I even doing that? That's your personal choice, right? But there would be other people who would be like, all the vaccinated people, all the unvaccinated people are the problem, right? So, right, because it was on between race, religion, money, not poverty, that kind of thing. Now we reach to vaccinated, non-vaccinated. So it's always a reason why
Imagine that,
to
just
split up.
imagine that a needle getting between a whole society, a global society. A
That's what
needle.
I'm saying. Yeah, because now it's well, Vanessa said she's not vaccinated as well, right? So we have a crew. So what I'm saying is that now they do it between no because I went to a bar, right? I had well I'm not a big drinker, but my aunt them was having some drinks. So I had a water pills, right? So me and my cousin walk into the bar. So as we reached there, the girl was like, you all drinking here? You all taking it to go or you all staying here? I was like, no, no, we going with it. And she's like, oh, because I was gonna ask you for the card, the vaccinated card now. So it's like they already separating people, and it would have certain other places, restaurants and stuff that gonna tell you they want your card, they want your stamp to know that you are in this group. If you are in this group, you're GT. If you're in that group, well, you're not GT. And
You know,
I personally
rough
not
about it.
been, huh?
About it. If you don't have a card, they're taking your money still,
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have, if
yeah,
you
yeah,
take
of
it
course.
to go, but they're taking your money and it's still costing the same amount. You ain't getting
Yeah,
a discount.
but how about this? Why in the groceries they don't have that? Why in the markets they don't have that? Isn't that where most of the population are?
The smart.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, isn't that where most of the like, okay, not everybody is drink, right? Whether it be soft or whatever, some people don't even venture into a bar, right? So what I'm saying, why not put it in the grocery where everybody have to go? No, they're not going on that because they want your money. Why not put it in the market where everybody going? Because although all these places close, Daniel, the groceries and the market was never closed. These people still pumping and making money, right? But anyways, all that aside, people, right? My advice to you is when you started hear about the COVID stuff, and yes, the deaths, it's a sad thing. Yes, the amount of people infected, obviously, it's a sad thing, right? But let me put it this way: you have no fear, you're good to go. Do not fear that we came here, we born, we will die. If we have to go in this way, we go on. If we had to die 5 years from now, we die. It have nothing you, me, anybody else could do. We had to go, we had to go. But you know what the fear is be, Daniel? Is the unfinished business, right? You might tell your brother he I black many years ago, right? You had that in the back of your head. You might move stupid with the neighbor and nobody else know that besides you. That's in the back of your head. You might have things you see because we live our life where we work every day, work every day, work every day, right? So we not allowed our social life really. And when we do allow our social life, what does it entail? It entail smokes, it entail alcohol, it entail heavy food. That's how we line heavy food, alcohol, and smokes. Now, nothing wrong with these things, right? But everything is moderation. Why not um why not encourage people to plant more? You know, so yes, it's true. They are splitting people up, and they are telling the vaccinated people that it's the unvaccinated people who are causing the problem, and it's them and da 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 da. And it's like, how do you know that? I do not believe, honestly. I personally, Danielle, I don't believe the stats that we get. I don't believe the figures. This is my personal opinion, people. Right? My opinion. Okay. I do not believe in the information we get from the government because true track records, they are not for the people. Let me put it like that. I do not believe in following the majority. I was always in a minority and I cool with that. Smaller bunch, but it's quality, not quantity we have about. Right? So each to their own. We have the id, the ego, and the super ego. Go do some research on it. Find out about yourself. What we can do next week, I can even help you all get your life path numbers. Now, there is something called your life path number, which is very easy to calculate. For those that I am able to help, hi, Josh. That's my son. Hi, Pa. Yeah. Those are not able to help, I will tell you all how to do it. It's very, very simple. They lie. Yes, that's true, Vanessa. We do not know what is the truth that roll off their tongue. Because for a country that is so rich with resources, it's so hard to believe some of the poorest citizens that I see. I don't understand how people could be throwing away containers of food, containers of clothes, all these things, and there are people who don't have, Daniel. If it have anything to touch my heart is that, you see gluttony, you see having so much and you're just throwing it out. And there are little children I know would be so grateful for two slices of bread alone, like that. And that, if it's anything to bother me, that will bother me more than anything else. Somebody could tell me anything, nothing will bother me more than seeing where someone is wasting something and an innocent child is needing it, right? Let's address those things. Like Daniel, I can't wait for us to do little drives and, you know, next year Christmas, we could put better things in place and share stuff out for my community, your community, and well, we say Jamali on board. If anybody else wants to come on board, let's do positive things. COVID is there the same way AIDS is there, and it just died down now. At that point, AIDS was on everybody's tongue. Chikungunya, it had children born with deformities. Everything is just for a time. But the way the people are stressing and thinking on it, yes, I say it is killing you, but if you have to die, you have to die. What you gonna do about it? You gonna bargain with the good Lord
But
on your
next
deathbed?
next Wednesday I will be on Sawick Media Mode, featuring two
Mm-hmm.
different persons, one at 5:30 and one at 6 p.m. And both of them on those separate segments will be speaking about HIV and AIDS. Next
Oh,
Wednesday,
on Wednesday?
next Wednesday is actually World AIDS Day.
Yeah.
So second person is going to be my mother, who is going to speak about her 39 years, what I say, in 29 years being HIV positive, and the other person who is going to speak from 5:30 is will that person will be sharing on the same topic as well, right? So
Right.
that, as you say, it died down. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
some people's reality, whether it be HIV, whether it be diabetes, cancer, in some people, in their own reality, it will never die as long as they live. And I was just thinking to myself, how important this program is, where we getting this opportunity to talk about wellness from so many different angles, not only in terms of sickness, right, but in terms of our mental wellness, all the different aspects we could even think about. And as they mentioned that, I just say let me make the announcement one time so anyone who want to
You
tune
could
in
you
on
could tune in Wednesday. What time you start, Daniel? On
um,
Wednesday?
5:30 p.m. and 6. Well, from 5:30 p.m. because from one I will jump into the next, and then right after that second one I have a third program, but on that one is on a football team. So
Okay. Well, you just
next
send
week
the link
we
for
will
me?
be well packed
Send
out.
the link.
Pardon me?
I say you'll just send the link for me on
Yeah, yeah,
Wednesday.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Next week, Wednesday, will be packed out.
Daniel,
But
like I said, he has a lot of hats he filling right now. How busy I just see things broadcasting, broadcasting. And he on his own little adrenaline, but he does amazing work. I kind of, since I know him, my daughter is 13 years. I probably know Daniel 13 or 14 years now. Through Persevere, which is protecting the children against violence and all the bad stuff. And he is still on the van wagon of helping and assisting and service to mankind. So people can learn a lot from Daniel as well. And like a good role model. Daniel is a very, very good role model in my eyes. He's an excellent father and husband. And I am very certain people will not even phantom of what kind of life Daniel has lived and experiences that he would have gone through in order to reach at this juncture in his life. Because I know my journey itself was not an easy one, right? Um, so with this program, when you're ready, I will give you my history on diabetes, heart surgery, diabetes, and glaucoma. Sure, Vanessa, no problem.
the link was next week, Vanessa. We could reserve next week for you if you want, next Thursday. You
Yeah,
just would.
yeah, I will contact us and probably by Monday or Tuesday, and we'll confirm. If not, we'll do the sex education because that sounds good as well. So Vanessa, it's entirely up to you. And folks, you all could call in, you all could text and or contact Daniel and whatever topic, because what I realized, Daniel, is that people go through certain things, right? And they afraid to talk about it because especially men. Remember I was telling you about this, right? So men, like people have this notion that men can't hurt, men can't cry, men can't say they have a problem because they deem weak by doing this, right? And that's not true. That is not true at all, at all. Men can cry. Why not? And they have tears in their eyes. Just so what is supposed to do with our tears in their eyes? People tell me, if we have tears and it's to cry, why men can't cry? From the time a young boy cry is a girl, and men grow up with this kind of mentality. So when it is they get older, like again with the id and the super ego and thing, what society has given you and what morals your parents would have given you in that department will determine how you deal with relationships. Because if you know to yourself that, I just say you finally reach in a relationship where it is you keep hearing when you're small, don't cry, and it's a girl, you don't cry, it's a girl. and your fiance or your girlfriend or your wife or whoever, or even somebody else, hurt your feelings, and you know it's not to cry, what you might do, you might pick up a vase or something and pelt it down. You might hold she and smack she across your face. Because an instinct, like I say, with the id is stored with aggression and raw impulses. So when it is you feel like you can't cry or somebody can laugh at you, that sadness turns into anger. And when anger is concerned, roughness, how to say, harsh behavior comes out. When somebody is angry, they're not going to watch you and tell you they love you. Probably I might do something like that because when I'm real angry, I smile. Daniel, I really don't get on too aggressive. I just smile. You know, they say in Madagascar, just smile and wave. Yeah, I just smile because I try my very best, not for anybody to, put me in that state. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's learned behavior. If you are seeing your father constantly hitting your mother, it is going to store somewhere in your brain, whether you're concerned or unconcerned, it's going to store. And when you reach at a later age now, you are going to extradite that exact same behavior because it is learned behavior. Children don't really listen to what you're saying. They do what you do because it is easier to mimic a behavior than to listen what somebody say, especially there are people who learn auditory and visually. So kids who learn visually, whatever they see, it is just scenes being stored. And we lack memory sometimes, like Jamali was saying that our brain hides pain. So what about traumas? What about women who were raped? What about young men who were raped? Are there any people available to help them? No, because nobody wants to deal with the fact that a man get emasculated. And men rape is a serious thing. Like I heard of a young boy somewhere within our village there. He was 16 years or 17 years. A man came out of jail and raped the young boy and burst him up and damage him. And the child was in I wouldn't say critical condition, but the child was in bad condition. And a couple of weeks after he came out of the hospital, he tried to kill himself because everybody know the man doing that. Mind you, the man is still outside, right? Because he's a kind of crazy man. He don't come out from jail. Nobody approaching him, police ain't call or nothing. But look how traumatic this would have been for this innocent little boy. Now, if when he get older now, he decides to do what, Daniel? What you feel gonna happen there now? When 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 all that little softness go, because everybody know you get raped, and man go and be real harassing him because that's the nature of people, real
I want
harassing
to,
him and telling him all kind of thing. What's gonna happen to this youth man now?
I want to interrupt you a little as you on this note, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I received a message from a Mr. named Joseph Small in our WhatsApp group, and in that message is a PDF, right? If it was a normal text, I would have had it on the screen one time, but I think I'll do a screenshot of it and put it on our page. So you all viewers, you all can look out for this coming in the form of a photo on the page, right? It is an invitation to a men's forum, and
Mm-hmm.
um, what this forum does is something that I used to attend in the earlys, right? I was there like from in the beginning when it just started, and
Mm-hmm.
in this forum, men are allowed to really say a man could come in the forum and say that he was raped, right? Somebody put the penis in him, and nobody in that forum is going to make him feel, like he something wrong with him. He's so unclean, he's so terrible. He's so terrible, and make him feel, degraded, make him feel less of a man and stuff like that, right? Because sometimes at the point in time a man get raped, it could have been when he was a child, it could even be when he was an adult. But in spite of he's still a human, right? So this is an advertisement for Sunday coming. Sunday is the 20th, right? Sunday the 20th of November, and this is online. Um, Google Meet. It is from 11. No, what I'm saying is 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So that is what 2.5 hours. right?
Mm-hmm.
In that forum is an ongoing thing every month, and in that forum, men get an opportunity, to really say the things that men don't feel comfortable saying, and they even feel comfortable. They doesn't just have the opportunity, but they feel comfortable. And if a man getting licks from his wife, or if a big man getting licks from his mother and father still, he feel comfortable to speak about it. I could always remember while I was growing up, there's a big man in Point, far older than me, still getting licks from his mother. And, I always find that was very strange. In this forum, I will post the information, but look out for it and encourage men, even women who are viewing this live stream. I'm asking you to encourage men. Women are allowed to view the stream as well, right? And this the New Millennium Nights Motorcycle Club, they also host a women forum, right? So they will announce when that one is. But the one for the men, that is Sunday coming at
Mm-hmm.
1 p.m., right? And you all could look
What
forward to
time?
that. Glad you raised this, Marsha.
What time, Daniel?
1 p.m. to 3:30
1
p.m.
p.m. Okay. That's
Yeah.
good
So
stuff, though.
glad
That's
you-
good stuff. A platform where a man could go and express himself, openly. That's really good.
yeah, back to you, Marsha. I just
Okay.
wanted to put in that announcement as you raised that topic.
Right. Nice, nice. So, like Daniel was saying, right? With men is such people think that women are emotional beings. Yeah, but men are emotional as well. It's just that they have um gotten so accustomed, hiding their feelings that if you have like a men's group, the only group I see men this be, right? Like within my community is the AA meeting. I see the AA meeting every Sunday night, I believe, or Monday night.
That's
And I see,
alcohol anonymous or something like
yes,
that.
alcohol and
It's still have that.
and yeah, yeah, they have some older heads there, and I must see them drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes, and to me that's a group, right? And say it made up of about a dozen people. That's a group. I have 12 individuals coming from 12 different households, and all of them would have stopped drinking alcohol at some point and have a group. But what about other groups? What about like how women would have weaving and all this kind of thing? Like, long ago, the community centers used to offer all these nice courses. Some of them you pay $10 for it or $20, real cheap, like cake decor, sewing, soap making. I don't know if this, well, I mean, well, with the COVID situation now it's different, right? But people, there are things to do where you could develop yourself. You don't need somebody to tell you what to do, really. Every one of us knows exactly what to do. All of us have a higher self right here that will always guide us. The super ego is always going to guide us to morals, things of value, things of love, things of compassion, things that the human being supposed to have within them, right? And if you don't, the reason why you have battles within yourselves is because you're torn between two things. You may be torn about, like, say, the right thing to do and the way you were brought up, right? But what you learn to do is to not be judgmental of people. Like, talk about judgmental. Today, my son got one wrong. Was it yesterday? Today, I believe. He got one wrong, right? And I said to him, 9 out of 10, you could have gotten all correct. With tears in his eye, he watched me and he was like, well, mommy, one wrong is still very good. Don't judge me. Like that. And I was like, what you know about don't judge you? You are 6 years old. What you know about don't judge me? He's like, you're judging me for getting one wrong. And I did very good. Now, I am not saying he did not do well, but his time that he was supposed to study his work, he had all week. He did not study. He probably glimpsed it twice. He chose to 15 minutes before the test to study his work. And that's where I had a problem because I said, you could have learned all your spelling words and be comfortable. You could have relaxed for that 15 minutes. But no, he chose, to cram it down. Get one wrong, but what I'm saying, he know the statement, don't judge me. Simple as that. From hearing it from an adult or somebody else or whatever the case may be. So these little simple minds growing up are retaining a lot, retaining everything. And then when they get older now, their stories is going to be about the COVID, where they hear the grandmother died, the grandfather died, this one died, that one died from COVID. They're going to be telling the stories of us. So I have to make sure my kids have fabulous stories to tell, which is my mommy was always there for me, despite what my mommy always tell me. She loved me, she cared about me, she hugged me, she kissed me. Those are the stories I want my kids to hear. Not that mommy was so busy, I used to barely see her. I used to see her 5 minutes or half an hour. Yes, people have duties now. Don't get me wrong. People have duties, people have work. But if you do not make time for yourself, and if you consider your children to be part of you, that is that is the icing on the cake. If you make time for yourself, you automatically make time for the people that care about you, right? So when coming to this Sigmund Freud theory, you all need to do a little research for yourself, not just how to say sit down and everything come to you kind of way. Go do research, find out who Sigmund Freud is, hear the theories, hear what he um, proposed, what he explains hysteria. Hysteria is having, certain interactions or certain emotions without having a physical thing, like having pain without having an issue. Sometimes your sugar could go sky high and you didn't even take any sugar. Sometimes your pressure could go sky high without having that, but then is something on the emotional side that usually triggers it and causes physical symptoms. So sometimes we might have a chest pain or something, a short breath. We don't know what it is. We might go to the doctor, they might say it's this problem, that problem, and most times it's your chakras that block that causes physical problems. So that is why we are on this platform here today and trying to let people know, hey, you're doing like Vanessa said, she was diabetic and she changed up her life and she's not diabetic anymore and she's in control of her sugar. Her sugar is not in control of her. Because when you are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or type 1 or whatever the case may be, right? Your entire life has to change. Your diet has to change. Your train of thought has to change. Everything has to change, right? Your clothes sometimes because you lose a bunch of weight with your clothes, right? Now, recently, I would have, I don't know if I mentioned, my grandmother was very sick. She had to put in a pacemaker last week, Tuesday. Yeah, last week, Tuesday, she put it in, right? And how we knew, I took her to the doctor to get a checkup because she lose a better weight, right? Now, this was over a 2 month period. Went by the doctor, her pulse was 50 and blood couldn't even come out of her finger to take a sugar test, right? To test sugar, blood could not even come out, right? We just still thinking is normal. The doctor said we need to do an ECG. And when we did the ECG, the pulse dropped to 46. Right there, she's telling us that she needs to give us a letter to go to AA, accident and emergency, or go to another doctor because she cannot let her leave the hospital with such a faint pulse. Meaning that if she goes to bed, she could have died in her sleep. Now, my grandmother is 76 years, sorry. She's one of the strongest woman I know. But now the blood is so thick, she has a blockage by her heart. Now, the reason I'm speaking about this is because these are things that happen all the time. Pacemaker is not something that gibberish to nobody. Everybody knows what a pacemaker is. Everybody knows when your pulse, so what could happen. Her pressure was extremely high as well, right? Now, when she went to the clinic 2 times or 3 times this year, her pressure was extremely high to the point that they didn't even let her out the clinic until hours after. But what she said to the doctors and the nurses, sorry, was that when she go to the clinic, she's get frightened and that's make her pressure raise. Other than that, she don't have no hypertension, right? 3 times that happened, Daniel. But what had happened is that her pressure was always high. It's just she didn't know. And when she went to the clinic, it was reading how it was always reading. Now the pressure was high because she had a blockage by her heart, right? So what I'm saying is we have underlying problems on the inside, emotional and spiritual, right? And we not telling anybody. Same thing like men, we're not telling anybody. A man will quicker get a heart attack a man would, sorry, get a higher risk of getting a heart attack than a woman for certain reasons, right? So men in itself hold everything inside, and it leads to complicated problems. Now, my grandmother, I mean, she and my granddad separated, but what I'm saying, she lives by herself kind of way, right? So what I'm saying is, she's not telling anybody what's going on with her. She's not telling anybody how she feeling because she probably didn't want to be a burden, but she's a strong woman. But after being strong, sometimes we get weak. And it is okay to tell someone when you're not feeling well. It is okay. And even if you don't have a physical person to do it, talk to the good Lord, talk to yourself. I did that. I still talk to myself. I am my best friend. I am my best company. Simple as that. After that is my children. Well, God lives with us every day, right? True, right? True. So I wouldn't even put God in that mix. God lives with us, right? So I talking about physical people. I will talk to myself, Danielle, not like a crazy lady, but I will talk to myself and get whatever I need to get off my chest,
You
because
could
later
just
on, sorry.
say it's okay to talk to yourself once you're not answering yourself.
Now I answer back too. Just not in public. Just not in public.
Okay.
Yeah. No, because if I tell myself, like, Marsha, you're not feeling good, what's going on with you, right? I might start to answer back myself. Well, Gil, you didn't really get much sleep last night. Da, 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 da. You didn't take your vitamins. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
but
then
you
again,
reason within yourself.
right, but I'm not doing
I
anything
think
wrong.
everybody does reason within themselves. You know, assess the
Exactly.
own situation.
I just do it out loud.
Yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying, nothing is wrong with that. So when men say bugger or all kind of stuff when they're younger, they hold in that day here, nobody, sometimes a man might die and they might hear anything about that. But that will cause the physical blockage within themselves because the spiritual and the emotional blockage is there. So what happens within the spiritual will always happen within the physical. Like someday I was going in a maxi, Daniel, and I saw, well, everybody in the maxi had on masks, right? And then, you're passing the road, you're seeing everybody have on mask, everybody have on mask. So I remember that when we used to watch these movies with all the documentaries, sometimes you'd see these people in China have on masks and people would laugh at them, because it was what virus was it? I can't remember the name of the virus, SARS or something they had. And almost like the majority of the population was wearing masks, right? And I, like with myself within the present moment, I talking to God and I like, look at how it changed within what the last 3 years. Everybody now is mandatory to wear a mask, besides, well, kids under 5 or under 8, right?
Except me.
And
It's mandatory
ah,
for me. I say it's mandatory for me. God make it mandate that I inhale oxygen and I exhale outside.
well, I had to go out because of that, because I like breathing oxygen. I love being around plants to get my full amount of oxygen. So my lungs pumping. I do my breathing exercise as well. I do my exercise. So I try to, strengthen my lungs. I really don't go out too much, Daniel, because I can't manage that mask for long, to be honest. I can't. Not that I don't fear COVID. That mask, I use the surgical one, and even when I have it on here, why do I breathe and talk? Let me breathe. I worship and talk to God because nobody can see the lips moving now. So I be happy for that, right? So this thing about COVID and thing, everybody all their bill, all their mind. The reason why I try to put in as much information as I could put in because it's just one time for the week we are, now out. One time we outside here, we letting people know you are worthy, you are loved, you are appreciated. If you do not feel like that, pinch yourself and tell yourself that. If nobody is telling you that, you tell yourself that because you have to be your biggest fan, right? You need to be your biggest fan all the time because nobody is coming. I remember a time when I was younger and you feel a little down. You didn't have nobody to hug me. I hugged myself, Daniel. I had two hands. I hugged myself tight, 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 and felt better until God put, my kids in my life to hug them up or other people in my life to hug them up. But what I'm saying is, you do the best you could do with what you are given, and then God blesses you with more. So people don't. Um, well, I want to end and I want to wrap up now because Daniel have his stuff and he wants to, talk as well. So with this COVID thing, you all be safe. build your immune system. Moringa is excellent to build an immune system as long as you don't have like low blood sugar. I would advise you to take moringa. If you have low blood sugar, it will become a problem because moringa reduces the levels of sugar in your body. So if you want to lose weight as well, you try the moringa. Well, Daniel is going to talk in a little bit and let you know a little more about the plants and the herbs that he has as well. Moringa, pan leaf, curry leaf, papoy, everything that we have in abundance, seed under the leaf. Daniel are using that currently. I made a multi-pack with pan, neem, seed under the leaf, moringa, and that working really, really excellent. The seed under the leaf, real surprise, man. Real surprise, man. It's a really, really nice how to say cleanse the kidney. Yeah, it works awesome for that. And I still have to collect my plants from Daniel as well because you gotta plant a tree, save a life. If you plant a tree to me, you save a life because you're planting the tree, you're getting the oxygen that you need, right? And the plant's taking the carbon dioxide that you don't need, right? From the trees, you're getting fruits, veggies, the leaves you could use, the moringa, the pan, the pawpaw, you could use the fruit, you could use the leaf, you could use the root, the seed under the leaf, ice boil it with the roots and everything. Well, oh gosh, when we talking about the plants again, I definitely have to have Jamali on it because he and all he did his research. You see, once you do your research, you're gonna know your stuff, right? So check up on Sigmund Freud, check out his theories. Hear what he says about the id, the ego, and the super ego. We need to fuel our super ego with positive things. For those who have kids, show them that it's okay to share, it is okay to cry, and it is okay to need a hug now and again. The best thing is to always be honest. Don't teach your children them to cheat. And even in school, don't teach your children them, to lie, these kind of things, because it's little now, but later on it's going to be big, big, big problems, right? So next week, our topic's supposed to be, if we have Vanessa next week, we'll continue on diabetes. If not, we'll be talking on sexual education. For those, while Daniel is talking, feel free to message and, anybody have a topic that they want us to talk about, you could let us know and we'll be most happy to do that. Daniel, you could go ahead.
Right. So I wouldn't go too deep into the plants tonight. Right. I could probably touch on that another time, and I will more share on how I actually got into all these plants. Right. So I will mention that I have an initiative called Sawick Herbal Health House, Sawick 3H, and you all can find it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all over, right? But how I really got there in 2016, I realized that I wasn't feeling well. I was actually on work. I was offshore that day, and well, I am a first responder certified with the government, and I accustomed attending to person. Someone have some kind of situation. I am the type who accustomed responding, right? I don't normally like to feel like the victim. I just like to help. And it felt so uncomfortable to say that I wasn't well that day. And I told a fella I wasn't well. And he went and he called the foreman, I think it was. And they organized for the emergency response vessel, the ERV, to carry me on Trinma base. And because I was a laborer, casual, not entitled to all the medical benefits, I didn't receive blood tests and stuff like that. So they did take care of me, give me some kind of painkiller and stuff. But in terms of checking to see what the situation was, I wasn't entitled to all that. So I just had to take what I get and go by San Fernando General Hospital the next day. And strangely, within 1 week, I received an ultrasound and 2 CT scan. And why I say that was strange, because I see pregnant women and other people who are sick have to wait on some appointment that is sometimes the next year. And I find it was strange to know that I get an X-ray today, I get the ultrasound, I get um, two CT scan a few days after, and I can't remember what that is. But then it was for me to find out that I have a cyst on my right kidney and a tumor on my liver. And that was 2016 April, and they made me join a clinic. And my very first clinic date was 2018 April, the same day. Madness, madness. My friends actually timed that. My family timed it. For that whole 2 years, they counted it down that because they so wanted to ensure that I take care of my health. And for me to go back April 2018, for these people to tell me they can't find my files. Well, of course, that was the last because I already didn't want to rely on any medical institution to see about my health. In terms of the diagnosis, I don't mind because they have technology to see what is wrong. But in terms of treatment, I didn't prefer to go there. So eventually, I went, I joined the clinic. 2 years passed, they can't find my files. They give me the next 6 months for me to come back. So that 6 months from 2018 still waiting all now. And I decided to try something for myself. So I started to ask persons what I could use naturally, and I was introduced to seed under leaf by two friends. However, I didn't know how to use it, and I was probably too lazy to really check into it, do some research, and find out how to use seed under leaf. So I didn't really use it, and someone advised me to use Wonder of the World and explain to me how that really works. So, yes, Wonder of the World, it was a well straightforward um, information I got, just as the seed under the leaf is straightforward as well, but nobody really told me, and I didn't check to find out how to use it. So, 2019 came, and my daughters were very sick, and I decided to advocate for marijuana to become legal in Trinidad and Tobago because after 2000, um, from 2017 is when I started to really ask questions about natural wellness. But I started to do research on marijuana, and when I realized how bad it was with my daughters, I decided it's time we advocate for this thing. I decided to challenge the government, and I did a little walk from Point 14 to San Fernando, Point Hospital to San Hospital, advocating. And just a few weeks later, it became decriminalized in Trinidad and Tobago. And, you know, I started to ask myself, how can I use this thing for my own situation? How can I use marijuana for my own situation? How can I merge it with other herbs? And is there I began to study, or not study deep, but to pay attention to herbs and to look up some information, do light research and stuff like that. I wasn't deep into it. In 2020, June, when I realized most of these things that we need right in my yard, I couldn't believe so much herbs were right in my yard. Then I get to realize almost every grass in my yard, not almost, every single one in my yard have medical benefits. The hog plum tree in my yard that I just wasn't cutting down, just to have it there for oxygen. All the black sage, vine, so many herbs right in my yard. I decide, okay, let me put out something on Facebook and ask people if they know anything about these herbs, correctly running on my fence and all that. And I just decided to take it a step forward by forming a WhatsApp group. Then I did a Facebook page and stuff like that. And I didn't know, or I didn't have intentions of actually setting up a big herbal health house. And all of a sudden, I became a consultant, right? When I don't know, I tell you I don't know. But from what I know, I was always able, and I am still always able up to yesterday, even up to today. except the day before, I am always getting people contacting me seeking information on herbs and how to use it and stuff like that. What you could use for different illnesses. The nice thing about it, everything is available in Trinidad and Tobago. We do have to look for the basic stuff. We have local herbs. God bless us with herbs, right? So we have herbs for everything. I don't encourage people to use anything for the brain. I am very careful with that. So I will, if you tell me you have a cyst, I'll tell you what can help with cyst generally, but I wouldn't tell you like a specific mixture or anything to deal with your brain, right? Because your brain is a very serious thing. I don't take chances with that. I am not very knowledgeable on that as yet, right? But I continue to grow. And what helped me to grow is the more people ask me questions. When people ask me a question, it pushed me to go and research. When people ask me about a plant, I will say, well, okay, let me find out. Somebody asked me about Christmas bush, and our next person come, and then our next person came. So I start ask about Christmas bush. I looking for Christmas bush for a few months, not knowing Marsha, the thing right by my fence in my yard, you know. Marsha, I didn't know that thing right there is Christmas bush, right? So eventually I know more and I am able to learn more. And then I go as far as to start producing little booklets on different herbal topics. So it all started with my health situation and not trusting the government and their health institutions for treatment, and then the experience with all the long wait and stuff like that. It pushed me. So I wasn't someone who was always very knowledgeable. And it is all about turning a negative situation into something positive. So the message I want to leave in this whole thing is that no matter what health situation you have, even if it's not a physical health situation, if you have a psychological problem, you know, you're going through some torment because of some circumstances, you could turn that into something positive. Sawi Herbal Health House is not the biggest thing out, but it has grown a lot. And a lot of people appreciate it. A lot of people benefit from it. And I'll close by saying we must always remember, no matter how far and how good something become, all glory, honor, and praise is to God. So
Man, I like how you close off that. Nice man, nice. That's a little history on Daniel. Daniel, I didn't know all of that. I did not know all of that. I just said, Sawik, herbal health. Now you have any t-shirts? I feel like I can see that on a
no,
t-shirt.
not
No?
not yet, not yet. You see, I really wanted to get some donations, you know, like anybody who just feel to volunteer to give back, because I'm not
Mm.
saying that anybody owe me anything, nobody obligated, but anybody who want to contribute to the cause, you know, I set up a fund, me TNT. So far, one person made a contribution. I probably didn't push it that much either, but the purpose for that is to sustain this same initiative where I could continue to do research, continue to produce, publish stuff, um, have t-shirts as well, have little promotional stuff like, you know, when I have my plants and stuff, I actually pay for the little pots that I put them in, I pay for the labels, all that. So, you know, the contribution that I am requesting is not because I say, all right, you know, to make a living. Yes, I do have an income right now, and nothing wrong with having an income as well. But my call for and for some assistance is, you know, just so that I could be able to give more. That's all I wanted to do. And t-shirts is one of the things I would like to have. So in having
I,
t-shirts, you
I
know,
want one first, huh? As you do it, I want one first. Huh?
yeah, once we, well, in terms of the service providers, that in place already, I create my own logos and stuff. Well, as Marsha said earlier, when I do a number of different things. So there's Sawik Logo Store, the Out of the Box Wellness
Yes,
was done
yes.
by, right? And all that is in place. It's just that I do have the funds to put out for a t-shirt. Even the first publication, the taxonomy, which tells you about the hierarchy of the local herb plants, I was going to put out that as at a certain cost, right? And the cost was just to really cover the prints because I didn't really put a charge to make any profit. But I didn't even have the capital to make the first set of prints. So not having the capital, persons who wanted were not able to really get the hard copies. And I just decided to put out some PDF where anyone can request that. They getting it via WhatsApp at no cost, and it's still optional for anybody who wants to contribute.
Nice, man. Good stuff. Good stuff, Daniel. Well, thank you for your contribution as usual, Daniel. Being on this program with you is always a pleasure. I always look forward to it. This is my go-to thing to share the knowledge and experience that I have learned, and I would say vice versa on your end. And God helps you build. Like Daniel said, all the glory, all the honor goes to God. And maybe one day, I mean, I am not a Christian, nor a Hindu, nor a Muslim. I am a spiritual being, right? I am a human, how to say, an extraordinary being having a human experience. To me, there is one God, one creator. I don't need to call a particular name. When I close my eye and I speak, I know to whom I speak to, and I know when I get my blessings, I know who it comes from. So all the honor and glory always goes to God, right? The Most High, the Creator, whatever you want to call him, or call her, whatever it may be. And we are positive people trying to share positive information, knowledge, experiences to people who think that they are going through it by themselves, whatever it may be. Because the one thing I am certain of in this entire world is that we are not alone. So when you go through something, you don't go through it by yourself. You go through it as a collective, because there would be hundreds of people across the country and thousands of people and even millions of people that would be going through the exact same thing at the exact same time, because we all go through things together, right? So you all decide what topic you want us to talk about. If not, we are going with the sexual education, Danielle, for next week. Or if Vanessa is joining us, we'll do something on diabetes, because that is a lifestyle disease that has affected many, many people. I
And
know
still
of a lot of people who's diabetic, and
still
it,
affecting people right now.
yeah, and it controls them, right? And having anything control you is bad business. It's going to only cause stress, worry, and problems and loss in your life. You are in control of your life, and the only thing we can control in this life really is our breathing. And when COVID strikes, our breathing is what it affects the most, right? So build your bodies the way our creator would have wanted, which is with more green. When you go to the doctor will tell you eat a lot of dark green leafy veggies, and it is because your heart chakra is green. So the more green you incorporate within your life, right, the better for you, the stronger your organs are going to be, the more light and light codes you're going to have within your body. Because when the flow of the universe starts to work within your body and the Holy Spirit goes into your body, it cleans and cleanses your organs, your blood, everything. So you don't even need to do anything. We can heal ourselves, people. All these are topics. These are the exciting topics coming up. How can we heal ourselves? The power of yoga, the power of meditation, the power of worship. Daniel, if we could have a session sometime maybe before Christmas. I am not no best singer, but if we could get a couple people, I mean, I like to say, yeah, but I am not no best singer, but if we could get a couple people together to go live and just appreciate the spirit of Christmas, while we play a few choruses or a few songs, sounds like fun to me, right? That's the online vibe, right? Have a little homemade wine, you know, and we could have a nice little program. We could invite Jamali and all the other guests that we would have had. We could have them back, and we could have a nice little program where everyone can share their stuff for Christmas. So it's almost probably 8 o'clock, Daniel. From an hour show, we went to 2 hour show. Nice to tell you how much fun we are having. So it was a
Wasn't bad.
pleasure.
It was very good.
Sorry?
It was very good.
Yes, it's always be nice. It's always be fun. I always come on the program with a smile on my face. I always leave the program with a bigger smile on my face, a little more well informed. And I hope people have the same kind of how to say the same kind of experience when they come on our program and they listen. So, Daniel, it was fabulous being here, and we shall meet up next week, Thursday again. But I want to look at the thing you tell me about on Monday, and it's Monday, 1 o'clock, you said, and the other
Sun-
program on 8 on
Sunday.
Wednesday. So you'll share the
No,
link.
that one is Sunday. I already posted it on out of the box. Right. So I'll share it on the group as well too. So Sunday I hope that people will be able to tune in and they wouldn't miss that, especially men who think that there is no platform for men to
Mhm.
express themselves. I hope that they will be able to tap into this and benefit from it.
I hope so too, because expressing ourselves is part of the human experience as well. Once we are able to express ourselves, we need to holding back and keeping things inside will eventually lead to big problems, psychological, mental, and then eventually physical. You will have blockages within your chakras, and eventually you'll have blockages within your blood, and that's bad business, and that leads to sicknesses, horrible low frequency immune system, etc., etc. So we'll leave by wishing you all a very blessed night. Everyone keep safe. Be very safe, say your prayers, build your immune system, be a good human being, and be kind. And we'll talk soon. So, Daniel, we'll talk, right? Take care.
Yes. Good night to you, Marsha, and good night to everyone. Have a wonderful, very wonderful sleep. Make sure you get some sleep unless you're working night shift. And if you are home, you are on work, wherever you are, we know that the curfew has been lifted. So some people may be out late. Be safe, right? Be very safe, be very vigilant, and be sure that we will have you back with us next Tuesday at
Next
7
week,
at
Tuesday.
6 p.m.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye.